Good morning, my peeps. Hope your day is going well. It always is here in Sublimity, and it's another beautiful summer day. I'm here. A little different subject this morning, and I hope this might be useful for someone out there who has questions about the issue. Um, my first wife, Dawn, and I had a niece. She and her husband traveled 3 hours to come and visit us one day, and we didn't know it at the time, but we found out when they arrived here. We had a nice dinner together, but they had a question for us, and this was the question. Um, they had just had their third child. They wondered, as Christians, what do we do about birth control? And we were somewhat older. We'd been through this, and they were somewhat surprised by our answer. Um, but it's relevant for people who are maybe thinking about that issue from a Christian perspective. And I think it's important for us to understand that. So our answer was a little bit like this. We went into a little of our history. Dawn and I married young, and we used birth control when we were going through those early years of our marriage. I was 20, she was 19. I was still in college, and Dawn was in nursing school. I don't think we were sinning by doing that. Christians have freedom to make decisions in that area. But I have to be honest with you, we didn't even pray about it. It just seemed to make sense from our perspective, I guess, in that area because we had other things going on in our lives, and we didn't think the timing would be right for us. We made that decision. But as we matured as Christians and as we grew a little bit, we made a different decision, and that was a decision to leave this area of our lives in God's hand and not to use birth control. It was not a legalistic issue for us. It was an issue of faith, and it was a matter of faith. It was our way of saying, God, we trust you for this area of our life to just take control. We'd yielded other areas of our life to God and His control, and I hadn't even considered this one. But when we did, and we did pray about it then, and we asked God about what would please Him, and it was just a matter of faith. God, we trust you to handle that issue in our lives. It's controversial for some people. Some people misunderstand what the Bible really teaches about it, and I'll share that with you today from one passage anyway, from Psalm 127. It's called a Psalm of Degrees for Solomon, and we don't know exactly what Song of Degrees was, but it seems to be one that was used while people were going up to worship at the temple. It could be that as they went up the steps toward the temple, that they would sing one of these psalms on each step. It could be just as they made the journey through the countryside. They were going uphill all the way to Jerusalem, and it could be that these psalms of degrees were sung on that way. But this one says, Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is His reward. Interesting, isn't it? Let me speculate a little bit. I think probably Solomon, with the size family that he had, probably knew where children come from. And yet we read here in Scripture that children are a heritage from the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is His reward. And that's consistent with other passages in the Bible where the Bible teaches that God is the one who opens wombs and closes wombs in accordance with His will. And that's what the psalm is saying here, that children a gift from God that He grants us. He goes on to say, as arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but shall speak with the enemies of the gate. Happy is the man who has his quiver full of children. I've heard people speculate about, okay, how many arrows does a quiver hold and some of those things. Um, I think I can answer that question. I've been in the military, done my bit there, been in combat. I'm pretty sure I know how many arrows a soldier would have in his quiver. That's as many as he could possibly carry with him. That's the mentality of someone who's a soldier and he wants all the ammunition that is available for him to carry. I think the same would be true there. But the point is, with this illustration that we have in this psalm, is that children are a blessing. They're a gift from God. They're His heritage, and it's a good thing. Happy is the man. It's a blessing that we receive from God. And uh, if you have a problem with that, if someone does, as a Christian, again, I think that's the important thing. We need to understand that your disagreement is it's not with the Pope and it's not with a popular seminar leader or an author. Humanly speaking, your gripe is with God. He's the one who said it. That children are His gift, His heritage. The children are His blessing that He gives to those, and it was on that basis where we really felt as a Christian family that we could simply trust God to provide us with the right number of children that we have. And if you don't know our family, I'll answer your question. No, we did not have 20 children. We had 4. And that was the number that God chose for us. And we were content and we were happy with every one of them. But I hope, as it was for our family members, that maybe this is one person's way of looking at this issue that may be helpful for someone there today. But I would encourage young families and those who are newly married who are thinking about this issue, um, at least pray about it and ask God what His will would be for you, and maybe even turn to His Word and learn and grow from that. And that's how we did it in our family, and we're glad we did. Well, think about that a little this morning. Maybe you pass on that information to somebody else. And either way, may God bless you today and your family. See you again soon.